So here, as you can see on the screen right now, we have here, like I've listed at least 8 of Hey guys! Welcome back sa aking channel, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you my checklist as far as I could say, or yung preparation guideline ko on how I will be traveling back to the Philippines during the COVID times. So, first and foremost, disclaimer lang, this is not like a super perfect checklist that I have. Ito based lang sa mga nakalap ko or sa mga na-research ko. And yeah, madaming nagsasabi na ano ba yan, napaka-hassle umuwi ng Pilipinas. So, I would say, based sa mga experiences ng mga nababasa ko, it is actually very smooth. Parang napaka-organized, gano'n yung mga feedback nila, and very helpful, lalo-lalo na yung mga airport personnel and also the Coast Guards who are helping right now, and with Red Cross, ayun, yung mga iba-ibang departamento ng gobyerno na nagpa-facilitate ng entry of whoever's going home, like yung OFWs, non-OFWs, ganyan. So, yeah, it just take time and patience to do the research na ano nga natin, di ba, nakakakalap nga tayo ng mga chismis or nag-i-stalk tayo ng kung sino-sino, ito pa kaya. So, it's just a little bit of sacrifice. So here, as you can see on the screen right now, we have here, like I've listed at least 8 of the categories that we need to get prepared. Yan, first and foremost is syempre yung magbubook muna tayo ng ticket. Second, we have to be aware of the current news. Alam naman natin na pabago-bago yung mga rules or may mga certain announcement. Kasi binibase din nila sa mga cases na nag-a-arise or kung ano man yung severity nung mga, alam mo yun, nung mga naapektuhan within a country or within your, at least sa mga provinces ninyo or within the LGU. So, yun, kailangan maging updated tayo dyan. And then, the third one is the immigration protocols. So, same as, kung may mga changes, wag lang tayo mag-focus sa immigration ng Philippines. You have to consider as well yung immigration kung saan yung point of origin mo. Like, for example, sa akin, from US. So, kailangan maging aware din ako kung ano yung mga bagong rules nila. And I'll discuss that further. And then also we have yung important websites that you need to bookmark, to save, or to visit. Yun yung mga parang guidelines mo para malaman mo yung actual na flow ng pag-uwi. And kung ano-ano yung mga forms na dapat mong i-prepare or dapat mong fill upan. And number 5 is the COVID testing. So, as we know, na required na ang COVID testing ngayon, obviously. And yes, so I'll discuss that further. Then, local transportation. So, especially sa Pilipinas ngayon, hindi kagaya dito sa US na you can use the Uber na galing sa airport, or you can even ask your family members directly na to pick you up from the airport. Pero it's gonna be different for the Philippines. And number 7 is yung accredited hotels. So there is a list of accredited hotels. There are rules and there are, certain requirements before you could finally go out from that hotels. It's actually like a mini quarantine as well as like yung parang waiting location mo for the swab test. And then we have here lastly, I think, is the LGU protocols. So every LGUs, as I have read, hindi pare-pareho yung mga protocols nila. It is important that you get connected or contact your LGUs, like your mayor's office, your regional health unit, and so on. So, yeah, let's get started. I-discuss natin isa-isa itong 8 checklists or 8 categories na nilista ko. Alright, so this is the fun part. Number 1 is ticket booking. So, first and foremost, syempre, kailangan mong mag-book ng ticket mo to make sure na makakalipad ka. And with this pandemic, it's very, very different, right? I've been booking my tickets like kahit saang website or anything. Pero ngayon ko lang na-experience itong talagang massive cancellations. Papakita ko sa inyo yung mga emails ko. I started like, I think, hold on. I have started, I think I booked this ticket around July. So, by August 26, that's when it started. Ayun na, nag-umpisa ng change yung schedule. Subject ng aking emails galing sa Cheap-O Air is urgent schedule change, ganyan. Until it went to August 27, and then the next one, halos every month. And then September 16, October 7, and then October 22nd. Meron pa yung mga times na 2 beses silang mag-change. As in, kakatawag ko lang sa agent, mamaya after few hours or during the night time, sasabihin na naman nila or may ma-receive na naman akong email ng cancellation. I think I had a total of 11 cancellations. So, ayan, meron November, this month lang, yun yung pinakamarami. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cancellations within a month. So, November. Supposedly, I'll be flying November 26 hanggang na-move siya ng na-move kasi it happens na wala nang available na flights to Clark until napunta ako sa NAIA. Ayan. So, in total, let me see how many. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I have 12 cancellations. Yes, 12 cancellations. And you shouldn't lose hope. Yun, i-discuss ko sa inyo ano yung mga naging experience ko during those cancellation. Yeah, so nag-book nga ako ng bandang July, and ang experience ko doon is that they would tell you at sa first time na mag-re-rebook ka, kunwari hindi mo gusto yung time slot na binigay nila, sasabihan ka kung gusto mong maiba or kung gusto mo ng panibago, you should pay for the parang price difference. Sabi ko, pinagpipilitan ko, why would I pay for the price difference if it was the airline who canceled the flight? Sabi ko ganyan. So, I shouldn't be paying that. Talagang nakikipag-away ako. Talagang nakikiano ako. Na, bakit ako magbabayad? Sabi ko. So, yun. Kailangan maging firm kayo. Kailangan i-insist ninyo yung rights ninyo. Kasi, hindi pwedeng, sila lagi yung masusunod. I mean, hindi natin kagustuhan to, hindi rin nila kagustuhan. So, you shouldn't be paying extra. Yun yung i-take note ninyo. So, ayun. Finally, I was able to get a good flight. There are 2 reasons bakit nagka-cancel. It's either walang passengers for that particular flight or mababa yung, yung booking nila for that particular flight. Second is, yung, kasi meron akong na-receive from Cathay Dragon na parang, ewan ko kung bankrupt na sila or they just decided to not to operate at this time of pandemic. Yun yung email na na-receive ko. So far, yun yung mga alam kong reasons. Other than that, I don't know behind that with those multiple reasons. So, when it comes to booking your ticket, ito yung mga natutunan ko based din sa mga feedback ng ibang passengers or yung mga nag-book na rin. So, it is between booking your flight directly to the airlines or booking it to a third party. So, in this time of pandemic, I would say, mas prefer ng lahat based sa mga experience nila na mag-book directly sa airline. Bakit? Because the refund protocols is easier, is more convenient compared sa third party. Kasi si third party, umaasa lang din siya kay airline. So, syempre, they don't want to be out of business. So, ang sasabihin ni third party, credit lang. Hindi sila pwedeng mag-refund. So, this is a good example when I book it with CEBU Air. Kasi nung July, nag-book ako ng CEBU Air. And then, I think that was with nung May. Kasi dapat uuwi ako nung May. Pero since last March nga is, nag-start na yung pandemic. So, I have to cancel it. Nag-book ako through EVA Airlines. And si EVA Airlines, refund nila ako agad in a full refund. Pero si CEBU Air, ayaw talaga ng refund. Kasi sana, dapat magbubook na ako directly sa PAL. Pero, ayun, hindi na nga sila Kasi hindi ko in-expect na magkakaroon ng mga multiple cancellations eh. So, ayun, hindi sila pumayag hanggang credit and credit na lang. So, nagtiyaga din ako na makipag-usap sa kanila lagi ng, rebooking. As in, talagang hirap na hirap kami maghanap ng airline or ng date. Kasi, before, ang leg flight ko is with Korean Airlines. So, until such time, yung pinaka-last, I hope yun yung last, is PAL. Medyo mas stable na, which is parang medyo confident ako na sana matuloy na yon. So ayun, kailangan nyo din i-consider pag nag-book kayo yung mga countries na parang na layovers nyo. Kasi there are some Asian countries now that requires COVID testing or a negative test result when you entered their airport. Like, kahit layover ka. Pero, kailangan nyo ding basahin kasi may mga rules na yun yung pag more than 24 hours lang. Pero, I think pagka transfer like 1 hour or you don't need to. So, you have to get in touch with the airlines. Pag may mga ibang pag may mga ibang country kayo na layover. Sa akin, I have Toronto layover. Pero so far, they don't have that policy. I hope hindi mag-change. Nag-change yan from time to time. Hindi siya stable. Kasi yung iba, recently lang sila nag-declare or nag-announce. So, ayan. Yan yung direct or third party. And then, seat selection, hindi ko rin masabi which one is the best seat. Pero so far, ang mga naririnig-rinig ko, window side is okay. Meron din nagsabi na maganda din daw yung sa center aisle. Diba? Usually 4 seats yun. Kasi ang kagandahan nun, pag si airline hindi siya puno, pwede kang mahiga. Mas mahaba yung hihigaan mo. And kunwari dalawa kayo doon. So at least meron kayong space. Well, as minsan kasi di ba sa window side, it's either 3 kayo or 2 yon. So, magkatabi pa rin kayo. But, yeah. So, it really depends. So, ako, nagtatry ako. Minsan, hindi na sila nag-aalaw ng seat selection eh. Pero, sabi ng mga feedback, may mga times din daw na pwede kang makiusap kung hindi ganun karami yung mga pasahero, sabihin mo dun sa pag nag-check-in ka na pwede bang make space, ganyan. Pero usually, if you do that prior to booking or during your booking, it is an additional fee kung gusto mo ng social distancing. So, yan yung mga guidelines or yung mga tips for the ticket booking. Now, let's proceed with the current news. Okay, current news. Yan. So, very important ito ngayon kasi syempre, naman natin na itong pandemic na to, wala namang definite na or naka-laid out na protocols ngayon. Parang ngayon is dumidepende talaga sila sa number of cases or yung mga nagiging concern ng gobyerno or ng airlines or ng immigration. So, yeah. Isa-isahin natin. Alright, so number 1 is you have to be updated sa government announcement. So ako, parehong like dito sa state of New Jersey and sa US, nag-aabang talaga ako ng mga daily updates nila, Facebook page ng governor namin. And then, usually sa Facebook na ako ngayon kasi yun yung most updated talaga na makikita mo kung ilang oras bago pinost, ganyan. And then, ano pa ba? Sa government ng Pilipinas, kung may mga announcement yung president, like yung mga changes from ECQ to GCQ. So far ngayon, parang mostly are on GCQ. So, meaning to say, allowed ang travel. Pero pag nag-ECQ na, ayan na, yun na yung problema. So, sana talaga hindi ako maabutan nun pag-uwi at saka pag-balik dito. So, yun yung mga aabangan ninyo lagi. Like, kung ano yung may mga bagong bans or restrictions nila. And then, yun nga, yung travel restrictions din, bagong protocols. Also, you have to be updated sa airline websites. Ano pa ba? Yung mga parang announcement ng airline kasi may mga times na si airline is ayaw nang pumasok sa ganitong country, ganyan, were banned or they tried to limit their flights, ganyan. So, yun. Kailangan nating maging updated. So, number 3 is the immigration protocols. So, we have to be again aware of the certain rules for each immigration. So, dalawang immigration ang dadaanan mo. One is going out from your point of origin, and then second is of course yung inbound sa Philippines. So, kailangan alam mo kung ano yung mga pagbabago or mga certain announcement na i-announce nila. So, who are allowed to enter the Philippines? Alam natin, as we are aware now, ang daming restriction. So, meron tayong notice. Hahanapin ko yan kung makikita ko kung basta yung parang notice nila about who will be restricted. Pero basically, ang parang summary niyan is that returning OFWs or returning Filipinos are allowed. At the same time, those who has a dual citizenship, and then yung mga foreign family member or immediate family members of a Filipino passport holder. So, yun lang yung mga allowed ngayon. I think meron pang nadagdag sa ngayon yung, I forget that type of visa, yun yung sa mga businessman, yun yung mga nadagdag. Pero like any other tourisms, or like for example, meron kang fiancé or friend lang na foreigners who wants to visit you in the Philippines, they cannot as of this time. So, yun. And like any other tourism are not allowed at this point. So, ayun. And then, yun nga sabi ko, kailangan nyo mabasa kung ano yung mga travel bans or airline announcements, and then protocols, yan. And madami na ring mga nagtatanong like about filing a dual citizenship kasi dito sa US as in nagsidagsahan na ang nagsipag-file ng US citizenship, lalo kung wala na silang mga family members na nasa Pilipinas or kasabay na uuwi. So, ayun, kailangan talaga nilang mag-dual citizenship. Kasi kung US citizen ka na, hindi ka nila papayagan at unless kasabay mo yung anak mo or asawa mo pauwi or you have a family member in the Philippines. So, ayun. I would say you also get in touch with Philippine embassies where you live sa area nyo, like, or Consul General for, in our case, it is New York. Ayan, puntahan nyo lang yung website nila or tawagan sila ano yung mga list of documents or requirements for filing a dual citizenship or meron silang tinatawag na 9A visa for those spouses or children of Philippine passport holder. So, ayan. Ewan ko kung nasabi ko ba, if you are a green card holder, na meron ka pa ring valid passport ng Philippines, you are allowed to go. Ayan. Then, let's move forward. Now, let's move forward naman sa number 4, yung important websites that you need to bookmark, you need to pin, or kailangan mong i-save sa yung cellphone, or kailangan mong i-print out, or na kailangan mong bisitahin, ganyan. First and foremost, ako, talagang binisit ko muna, or ang sinave ko, finalo ko ang FB pages ng like for example, whatever airport you are going to, kung ako, NAIA, so ayan, pinafollow ko sila kasi meron silang everyday na list na pinapakita or pinopost kung ano yung mga flights arriving or ano yung mga flights na canceled, ganyan. So, para maging aware ka. And then, of course, yung airline mo, like, I have Air Canada, pinafollow ko rin yan, and I used to go to their website at least every other day para i-visit. Minsan, ang inaano ko pa is yung airport ko din sa Toronto, kasi magle-layover ako doon. So, ayun, i-visit nyo din yung mga layover airports ninyo. Kasi you never know what are the changes or kung canceled pala yung flight mo during that day. So, make sure na nakamonitor ka lahat doon. And then, ito important kasi ang leg flight ko or second flight ko is with PAL. And, which is, I'm very grateful din kasi mas convenient. And, yun. Go to the PAL website. Ililink ko lahat sa description itong mga websites na to, para i-click nyo na lang at saka mapafollow nyo na lang, or you can copy it sa sa notes ninyo para pagdating ng flight nyo, you can just visit it. So sa PAL website, medyo mas kompleto kasi dito makikita mo na yung ECIF, yun yung parang health declaration form ng depende kung non-OFW ka or OFW ka. I know sa OFW, you have to register sa Red Cross. Pero kung non-OFW ka, punta ka lang dito sa PAL, nandyan na yan. And then, meron din yung RT-PCR test pre-registration form. Ito yung sa swab testing. So, kailangan mong mag-register. Yeah. So, i-visit nyo lang yan. Makikita nyo yung sa travel requirements. Sandali, ipakita ko sa inyo kung saan nyo makikita banda yung about sa travel requirements ng PAL. Philippine Airlines. So, all you need to go is go to travel information and then about COVID-19. Yan. And then, dito sa baba, it's either you can check the latest flight updates. Meron din yung travel rules and requirements. Ayan. Click mo lang yan. And then, arriving in the Philippines. Click mo lang yan. And then, we have here, it's either arrive guide for non-OFWs and foreign nationals or kung OFWs ka. And then, nandyan din yung list ng quarantine hotels in Manila or in Cebu, ayan, or in Clark. So, ayan, yung tatlong airport, meron silang guidelines. So, since non-OFW ako, click natin yan. Ayan, may complete list na sila. May guidelines din sila as early as 3 days daw. Mag-register ka na for the QR code, which is this one. And then, makikita mo rin dito yung list ng accredited hotels. Yan siya. So, yan. And then, that's it. Click here, a guide for the Philippine domestic travel. Meron din sila yan. Yan na yan. Ayan, so the next one is yung Bureau of Quarantine for Quarantine Certificate, and usually dito ka magre-register or dito mo i-upload, pero I think yung ibang ginagawa na lang nila is ini-email nila, which may email address din, ipopost ko na lang dun sa description below. But itry nating puntahan yung website ng Bureau of Quarantine para may idea kayo kung ano ang itsura niya. Ayan. Nandito na ako sa Bureau of Quarantine. Ayan. Let's go first sa website. Pero ito yung ano nila, website, quarantinecertificate.com. Ayan. So, dito, i-fill upan mo to. Passport mo. Ayan. So, ayan pala. Dapat wag kong kalimutang i-scan ko yung passport ko para later on mas madaling ma-verify yung quarantine certificate mo dito. And ito yung usually gagawin mo pag nasa hotel ka na. Ayan siya. So, fill upan mo lahat yan. Relihiyon, lalawigan, lungsod, and then submit. Last na ba? Hindi, meron pa. We have yung Philippine Coast Guard FB pages. Before, nung nagkaka-start pa lang, usually ang alam ko, doon sila nagpo-post ng list of negative tests. Yung kung sino mga nag-negative sa mga result, as in nandun yung parang list of names, pinapost nila sa FB page nila. But now, I'm not sure. Hindi ko na masyadong nakikita yung mga names na yon. Siguro naging mas automated na sila na you will receive an email notification right away. And then, yung LGU FB pages. Yun, fina-follow ko yung LGU namin, yung province, kasi nakikita ko doon yung mga updates ng mga bagong cases, ng mga pati sa barangay namin, sa town namin. Bakit? Kasi yun yung magiging impact. What if nag-lockdown during your yung period ng pag-uwi mo? So you have to be aware of all those things. Like paano kung tumaas yung cases at that time and restrict nila yung entry. So kailangan aware ka, alam mo yung mga nangyayari sa inyong LGU. And then, lastly, yes, sa FB group page na to, I'm very, very grateful na nahanap ko to. Kasi, ito yung si Filipino Stranded Abroad FB group. So, na-create lang to during this pandemic, nung medyo na-allow na yung pagta-travel. And yun nga, nakita ko na mostly kasi ng mga sumasali doon is from the US, pero may mga nakikita rin akong pailan-ilan from Canada, from Europe, ganyan, pero halos US talaga yung mga members doon. And yeah, very grateful ako kasi sinishare talaga nila yung mga experiences nila, tsaka kung may mga questions ka, very helpful sila to answer all your questions. Ililib ko yung link ng group page, and then mag-join lang kayo. Very friendly naman sila doon. Yan, that's it for the important websites. Ililib ko lahat sa description yung mga actual links nila. Alright, we are almost done. Ay, hindi pa, half pa lang pala. We have the COVID swab testing, the most interesting part. Yan. So, kailangan nating maging aware kung ano ito yung pinakabago, as we know. Ito yung pinakabagong procedure sa pagpasok sa airport. And yeah, madaming questions. Ano bang dapat gawin bago sumakay sa eroplano and all. Merong mga nagtatanong na kailangan ko bang magpa-swab test? Kailangan ko ba ng negative result bago sumakay ng eroplano? When entering the Philippines, hindi required na magkaroon ka ng negative result, not unless yung layover mo, yun yung paulit-ulit kong sinasabi kanina, yung layover mo is a country that requires you to have a negative test result. So, as I have heard lately, yung EVA Airlines, so which is Taiwan ang layover niya, nagre-require na sila ng negative test result ngayon. Starting, I think, December 1, which is next month. Ayan, so you have to read all those and consider that. Yung pagtetest naman prior to your flight or prior to your departure is also an option to you. Lalo na dito sa US, it's a good option. Like, if you just wanted to make sure, since libre naman, so why not take advantage of it? Pero isa lang ang masasabi ko doon, kasi kung confident ka naman na wala kang symptoms or hindi ka na-expose, probably you can skip that step, kasi para mabigyan naman ng chance yung mga talagang kailangang mag-test. Kasi ngayon, lalo dito sa New Jersey or dito sa US, nagkakaanuhan na, parang nagkakaubusan na ng appointment or minsan hirap na magpa-appointment kasi lumalaki na naman yung mga cases. Like, we have 4,000 or 3,000 average daily again. Bumalik na naman tayo sa second wave. So, yeah, let's just give chance to the others para lang, alam mo yun, ma-prioritize naman sila instead of us na hindi na natin kailangan. Ayun. And how much ba ang COVID testing in the Philippines or sa airport? Recently, 4,500 as I've heard, pero hindi recently, nung mga unang test, meron tayong 4,500 and then now nag-change na sa 4,000. This is for non-OFW kasi ang OFW, they get it for free. So, merong mga lumalabas na if you pay this amount like 10,000, 20,000, I would say let's not believe that right away. Huwag tayong maniwala agad kasi lahat ng nababasa ko, lahat ng mga experiences ng iba, they had 4,000. So, kung in case mangyari sa inyo na yun yung i-offer sa inyo sa embassy, huwag kayong magpapadala. Huwag kayong magpapascam kasi you never know. Kahit mga ano pa yan, alam mo naman minsan dyan sa airport, nakakatakot, madaming nangi-scam, madaming nanghuhut-hot. So, yeah, just be mindful of that na dapat 4,000 lang. You can pay either credit, US dollar, and cash, peso cash. So, yun yung mga pwede mong anuhin. Hi guys! Pasensya na, medyo naputo. As you can see, ba na yung damit ko ngayon. Kasi nakat kanina, I have to go to pick up the food kasi Thanksgiving ngayon and nag-order kasi kami. So, yeah. I-continue ko lang yung about sa COVID swab testing. Natapos na natin yung kung magkano at saka yung inbound and outbound test. I-finish ko lang yung inbound and outbound test. I think for outbound, na-discuss ko na yung inbound, right? So, yung outbound, like palabas ka na ng Pilipinas, so you have to check din kasi may mga requirements na ganun. May certain facilities or areas na nagre-require pag paalis ka na. So, in the US, they don't require us to have a negative test, but there are already some states that do. For example, is New York. So, hopefully, hindi mangyari rin sa New Jersey by the time na pabalik ako ng ng New Jersey. So, recently lang yun, I think 2 weeks ago lang nag-implement ang New York. I think California, if I'm not mistaken. Washington, I am not yet sure. Basta, you have to check your state. So far, in New Jersey, they don't require that yet. So, yun, you have to be very, very diligent in checking those policies for outbound, yung pabalik na ng US or pabalik na ng country where you are residing. So, the next one, as we all know, sa Philippines, or if you are not aware, there are two procedures for the test. One is through the nostril, and then the second one is the throat. It is the throat. So, as I've heard, may mga nabasa ako, like, if you have babies, pwede mong kausapin sila na pwede bang sa throat na lang instead of sa nostril or sa parang nasal swab test, ganyan. So, kung may baby kayo, but just make sure na at least gawin nyo yun. Try to speak to them kung pwedeng ganun na lang. Kasi kawawa naman yung mga babies. Diba? So, natry ko na siya. Medyo uncomfortable. Yung iba, medyo nasasaktan sila, ganyan. Ako parang uncomfy lang na gusto mong parang bumahing na ewan. So, yeah, expect the worst na lang. Para pagdating doon, kung okay lang naman, di okay, diba? Pero huwag kayong matakot. It doesn't harm you at all. And the last one, no, we still have one, the registration. So, prior to your arrival, may mga forms kang fill upan. Yung sinabi ko kaninang website, ayun, nandun yung mga pre-registration ng swab testing. May tatlo, if I'm not mistaken, I can find that list of parang testing, private testing department or company. We have Red Cross, which is a government, and then we have PADLAB, Detoxicare. Yun yung mga alam kong nagtetest sila sa Philippine airport. So, yan. And then, I think that's pretty much it. Test result waiting period. So, previously, ang waiting period, like, it will take 5 days, ganyan. And sa mga, lalo na pagka hindi ka nagbayad, yung mga OFW, meron pa yung time na maabot sila ng 7 days, ganyan. But now, since nadagdagan yung mga nagtetest, mas napabilis na. So, with that 4,000 na babayaran, yung average na nababasa ko ng experiences ng iba, they had 9 hours or 8 hours average of waiting, which is very, very good. Kasi sayang naman yung mga araw na hihintayin mo sa hotel. At the same time, sayang din yung pera, diba? Kasi magkano rin yung booking. If you say 3,000 or 4,000 a day of hotel, times 5, sabihin mo na nasa 20,000. So, it's a lot of money. Ayun. So, yan yung waiting period. Just make sure talaga na nakaabang kayo. Talagang hihintayin nyo. And yeah, itong mga sinasabi ko guys is based sa experiences at saka yung mga nababasa ko ng mga naka-experience na. The reason why I am sharing this with you kasi madami pa rin nako-confuse kung ano ba ang gagawin, kung ano ba yung tamang proseso. And kung meron man akong hindi tamang nasabi or kulang na nasabi, you can just comment below. And also, by the time na magta-travel na talaga ako, i-validate ko rin kung tama ba yung expectation ko, tama ba yung nasabi ko dito sa vlog na to. Yan. So, we're done with the COVID swab testing. I hope na share ko yung mga dapat gawin or dapat alamin for this particular step or procedure. Now, let's go on to your local transportation. So, syempre, after mong mag-antay ng swab test result, you're ready to go. So, ayan. Ang preparation na ginawa ko, of course, kasi our previous plan is susunduin ako ng kuya ko, tsaka ng hipag ko. So, that means na they will be also required to have a quarantine period for 14 days. Yun yung protocol sa LGU namin. And magiging mahirap kasi, alam mo yun, walang maaasahan si mama, like kung kailangan nilang mag-drive or what, saan kami, sinong bibili namang pagkain, ganyan. So, we decided na mag-commute na lang ako or yung mga parang private car companies na nagpaparent. So, ganun yung gagawin ko. So, hindi ko na rin poproblemahin na kumuha sila ng travel pass, medical health certificate, kasi private company na yon. They already have that kind of permit. Pero pagka you're doing it with someone you know, or family member na susundo sa'yo, make sure na ma-acquire muna nila yon or alamin yung protocol sa LGU ninyo. So, yun yung alam ko na kailangan. So, for you naman, on our end as non-OFW, so what we only need is, kung uuwi ka ng probinsya by land, is yung quarantine certificate mo, yung swab test result, and your passport, and then, I think that's pretty much it. Yun lang yung mga kailangan mo. Pero pagka, kunwari, for example, ikaw na taga Davao, kailangan ay nagland ka ng Manila Airport, so kailangan mong umalis. I mean, may connecting flight ka to Davao, pero nag-quarantine ka sa Manila. Meaning to say, kailangan mo pang mag-eroplano. So, yung mga nababasa ko is they would need to get a travel pass. And itong travel pass na to is nakukuha sa terminal mismo, sa airport. So, you just have to ask at least the Coast Guards na naka-assign sa hotel, or as yung hotel receptionist, they should have an idea about that. Para bago yung flight mo, once na you get the result, ayun, you can ask for the travel pass. Kasi hindi ka naman pwedeng kumuha ng travel pass within the vicinity of the hotel. Kaya they would prefer you to get it at the airport itself. And then, so ayun. There are 2 types of transportation. Before I forget, nag-jump na ako agad sa from hotel going home. So, meron tayo netong airport to hotel. Yun dapat yung nauna. But anyway, so ang airport to hotel, bawal kang sunduin ng iyong kapamilya. There are no private cars in the airport for arrivals. So, for the arrivals, you have 3 options. One is the metered taxi. So, meaning to say, metro talaga. As in, kung magkano yung tumatakbo na metro. So, yun. And then, you have yung tinatawag nilang coupon taxi. Fix na yung rate. Kung saan ka pupunta, meron na silang fixed rate with that. It's up to you if you wanna give a tip, ganyan. So, yun. And then, lastly, is your shuttle service from your hotel. Pwede kang maki-coordinate sa hotel mo beforehand or upon booking your hotel. I think some hotels has an additional fee for that, and some hotels is a free or kasama na dun sa bayad. So, yun yung mga i-consider ninyo. Yan. That's it for the local transportation. Now, let's move forward. Ang haba na ng video na to, sobra. Accredited hotels. Yan. Parang baliktad yata. Dapat na una yung accredited hotels. Anyway, ganun lang din. Checklist lang naman to. So, Accredited hotels, as we all know, ulit, non-OFW will pay for their own hotels. OFW gets it for free. Yes. Actually, may mga nabasa din ako, if I'm not mistaken, pag talagang walang kang pera, even though you're a non-OFW, tapos itry mong makiusap, they can bring you to a free hotel. So, there's no harm in trying. I mean, try it. Filipino ka naman eh, di ba? Especially kung you were once an OFW. So, yeah, just try it. Yeah, that's it for the fees. And usually dun sa list na binigay ko sa website ng Accredited Hotels, may spreadsheet or Excel sheet na nakalagay doon. Nakalagay na rin yung mga prices nung ibang hotels. Andun na yung email address, contact numbers ng mga hotels, kung magkano, and then most of the hotels may kasama ng full board meals, like meron ka ng breakfast, lunch, and dinner na kasama dun sa babayaran mo. So ang advice ng IATF is you should book your hotel at least 2 days for waiting. Pero mostly ng mga nababasa ko, they just book like 1 night. And if they needed to extend, they can just ask the receptionist. Kasi may mga hotels na they don't refund you. So, like for example, we just got the result for 8 hours. So, pag hindi na-refund, so sayang din. Which makes sense, diba? Ayun. And then, where to find the list? I already gave you the list at the important websites that we need to do. So, yan. And lastly, how do we book? So, may mga options kang to book. It's either by sending them an email dun sa list, kasi dun sa spreadsheet, diba sabi ko kanina, merong email addresses or my phone number doon. Pwede mo silang tawagan, ganyan. Depende. Or you can go to their website, or you can also go to third-party websites. Example, booking.com, hotel.com, ano pa ba, mga Expedia, ganyan. So, it's up to you. Ang booking.com, hindi pa ako nakapag-book actually. So, I'm trying to book. Pero kasi meron kaming promo sa T-Mobile. This is not sponsored. But there is a 40% promo ang T-Mobile if you book it through booking.com. So, ayun. I will try that. Pero kung T-Mobile kayo, try nyo din yun, guys. Yan. Para makatipid tayo, di ba? And then we have the last one, the LGU protocols. Yan yung pinaka-importante. So, this week, yun yung inaasikaso ko, yun yung inalam ko. As in talaga, I try to find a ways na to get in touch with whoever is the official required. Kapal pa ng mukha ko, nag-text, or nag-message ako sa mayor namin. Para tanungin lang kung kanino po ako kukuha ng acceptance letter. Sabi ko, kinapalan ko yung mukha ko. Ayun, so sinabi niya yung pangalan, minessage ko, hinanap ko rin sa Facebook yung pangalan, and then chinat ko rin ulit. Ayan. And then sa RH naman, luckily, tita namin yung nurse doon, yung parang isang head nurse. So, sa kanya na ako makikipag-coordinate. Yun yung mga gagawin ninyo. You have to find time to coordinate sa dalawang agency na to ng LGU nyo. Sa mayor's office and dun sa health center nyo or regional health unit. Yun yung dalawang parang may hawak ng mga cases na ganun for like returning Filipino workers or returning Filipinos. So, ayun. Ano ba ang kailangan? Sabi ko kanina, we need an acceptance letter this acceptance letter will be shown to the checkpoint. Ipapakita mo sa checkpoint along with all the documents that you have after your release from the hotel, like your quarantine certificate, your swab test result, and your passport. Travel pass, yun nga kung kakailanganin mo if you are flying or pag may domestic flights ka. But then since on my end, hindi ko na kailangan kasi it's by land. And then, ano pa ba? Okay. Your quarantine protocol. Yung quarantine protocol, it has to be coordinated with your RHU as well. So, in my case, since hindi ako uwi sa bahay, I have another home to go to. Ang gagawin nila is i-inspect nila yung bahay na yon to make sure na ikaw lang yung nandun. You have your own room, you have your own bathroom. Yun yung mga requirements nila. And of course, na to make sure din na walang transmission upon your arrival. And ano pa ba? Quarantine period, it depends sa sa LGU. Pero sa amin, I think it's 14 days. But I will update you kung ano yung magiging proseso nila. I don't have any idea. I don't have any clear idea kung ano yung magiging proseso. Pero ang sabi sa akin ng tita ko is I will go directly sa facility or sa quarantine facility na or quarantine home, and then kinabukasan, if gabi na ako makarating, kinabukasan they will come to me for I think like health check-up, like i-check yung temperature mo, kung how are you feeling, ganyan, yung mga basic lang checks. Yun, and that's all I can think for now. As I've said, i-validate natin tong mga information na to na nakalap ko once I have the actual travel. And yes, so I just really hope nakatulong naman sa inyo to. Medyo nakatulong to. It's a little bit detailed, I would say, kasi wala akong nakitang ganito per se. So in my next video, ang gagawin ko naman is yung mga travel essentials na kailangan nating dalhin. Kasi naglilista na rin ako ng mga dapat kong dalhin para hindi ko makalimutan. And I think so far I'm ready. Kompleto na ako sa mga dadalhin ko. Kasi parang binigyan na rin ako ng mga friends ko ng mga dapat na dalhin. So ayun. If you have any questions, guys, don't hesitate. Just comment down below and I will try to answer them. All right? Thank you very much.